Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Pat Show. Trivia game show based on 50 years of shit that happened and didn't kill Patrick Sean. I'm Geoff. This is my lovely assistant Holly, and the host of the Pat Show, Patrick.
Stand right there where lovely assistant is.
Shall we begin the show? Yeah. Let us meet our contestants. Contestant number 1, Dan Giesecke, come on down.
Oh boy.
Dan likes pulled pork, bourbon, rock and roll, and he doesn't like wrap angel food cake with icing. Good job, Dan. Our contestant number 2, Hannah Kahajig! Hannah likes pina coladas and getting caught in the rain. She's just kidding on that one. And she dislikes many things. And how does she know Pat? Well, he's my boyfriend's uncle, so there you go. And the third and final contestant is Hope Sickmer!
Hi, Patrick.
Hope likes puppies, dislikes kids, phony people, liars, and more kids. And she knows Pat through Dan and Holly, trivia partner, and he's a smart ass. Contestants, when in college, I jumped off the roof of a house and landed on what? Hope.
Table.
Incorrect. Dan.
Couch cushions.
I'm afraid I actually can't give you that answer, Dan. I was supposed to land on couch cushions. Hannah.
But you missed a lane on the ground.
My butts. It's close enough. Yes. Hannah. Can you further explain the story there, Pat? Geoff thought it would be cool to sit on the roof and frequently jump off of it. And then he thought it would be further cool to jump off onto something. We did not want to take my mattress that I got from the repo bin at the bank and use that out in the lawn. So instead we took our orange cushions, which were the only things that we had to sit on. I missed entirely. We had Boilermakers at the football game later. Which to this day may mean why I have a bad back. Question number 2. When I was young, I used this as an ingenious Halloween costume. Hannah.
You put pantyhose over your head.
That is incorrect. Although I was once kidnapped by a man who did. Hope.
Plastic garbage bag with armholes cut out.
No, but that is the only way that we got kept out of the rain. And Dan.
I got it.
Yes.
Paper grocery bags with holes cut out for eyes.
That is absolutely correct. They were further decorated with Crayola crayons. We couldn't afford markers. And that's about all I'm going to say about that.
Question number 3.
Yeah. I jacked up my teeth in an accident as a child. What was I doing? Dan!
You're hitting the mouth with a putter while playing miniature golf.
That is incorrect. Later we would play a lot of miniature golf, but no one actually ever smacked me with the putter. Hannah, you would seem to want to raise your hand.
Unfortunate lawn dart accident.
No, we were not allowed to play with jarts. And Hope.
You fell off a retaining wall while playing Quisp and Quake with Mary Fran.
That is 100% absolutely correct. There's almost nothing to say about that unless you realize it was Quisp and Quake.
What's Quisp and Quake?
What is Quisp and Quake?
Who seriously doesn't know who Quisp and Quake are?
Thank you.
Okay, Quisp and Quake were the best cereals ever. Of course, they tasted just exactly alike, except for one was round space saucers and the other one's more like Captain Crunch. One is Quisp and one's Quake, duh. No. We were one was Quiff and one was Quick. We were like battling. Superheroes? Sure, close enough.
Oh.
My friend
Thank you for clarifying.
viciously attacked me, threw me down, and pushed me off the wall.
Was she? You were playing.
That's Quick. And then from that point on, I spoke with a twist.
Okay.
When I am singing, I imitate two different singers depending on the song. Which two singers? Hope.
Jim Croce and Art Garfunkel.
That is so close. I'm sorry, Dan Giesecke.
Neil Diamond and James Taylor.
No, what? And Hannah.
You know I'm going to have to go with Gordon Lightfoot and Molly Hunter.
Because sometimes, well, I'm traveling down the road and I'm threatening with disaster. Other times, I'm traveling down the road. Sundown, you better take care. Papa, you keep around, Mom. And sometimes, when I'm in church, I might sing, Ave Maria. Something like that. Here's the deal. I'm kind of curious what the answer is. Hold on. One moment, please.
Oh my God.
With what 80s singing superstar did I play Little Grab Ass? Hannah?
Lionel Richie.
No, I do know that's not the answer, right? Hope.
Colin Hay.
Actually, that's really close. I didn't grab his ass. I actually almost grabbed his wife's ass, though.
Oh.
Yes, Dan.
Rick Springfield.
Oh, yeah, it's true. It's really Turns out it wasn't in the 80s, though. It was just a couple months ago. Yeah, so Holly and I and Hope rushed the stage, much like, for those of you who went to David Cassidy, it's much just like that. Okay? And Rick decided to walk through the crowd across the chairs, and the crowd was really tight before coming back. He had a little trouble getting back to the stage, so I lend a hand. Come on, that's right. And I helped him, and Holly was helping him as well. And here's the deal: how many times do you like to get a chance to touch Rick Springfield's ass? Really, once. You get one shot at it, so we had to help him across. Right. He got it back to the stage all in one piece.
And he smiled at it.
Yeah, he did. All right. When helping my When helping my two adorable nieces, on the pictures here, build a fort, what household item did I assist in breaking? Okay, before you actually, I'm sorry. I am going to have to say there's really no answer because I didn't assist in breaking anything. But I carry on.
Glass picture frame.
Incorrect, Dan.
Yeah.
Hannah?
Coffee table.
Oh no. Hope?
Ceiling fan.
Totally a ceiling fan.
Yes.
We did tie sheets to Jim Davies' ceiling fan. It was Jim, and then later I had to crawl from the attic and install a new one. And a bunch of other stuff while I was there.
Why were you tying to the fan?
To make the fort like a big old harem, like a tent type of thing. I wish I had just said harem with my two nieces.
We weren't.
All right, thanks. What card game did I play where I chose a card that made me laugh so hard that I cried, real tears, and was rendered speechless for 2 minutes? Oh,
Apples to apples.
that is so close. That is incorrect yet.
Trivial Pursuit.
Dan, you have to buzz in first. Yes?
Trivial Pursuit.
That is incorrect also. Hannah?
Cards Against Humanity.
It is Cards Against Humanity. Get right down with the actual answer.
What?
I'm trying to remember what that card
the
was.
card?
It was.
It's on my phone.
Was it on your phone? Can I actually give you that one?
You can't. It's your family.
Oh.
We've already been there. So
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, I don't know the big call.
All right, some of you need to put on earmuffs.
It's probably not even gonna be that funny the second time around. At the time, no. In the moment.
Well, you need to tell the whole thing like what.
Well, have you ever played Cards Against Humanity?
Yes.
Okay, it's like apples to apples, only it takes it a step further. And by a step further, a lot step further. Yeah, I'm not going to read that.
Ollie will read it.
No.
No, he's not gonna read it, I won't.
Turns out I can read that.
Check me later.
I want to
All
see
right.
it later.
Good question.
Yeah,
All
that
right.
would be a
Yeah.
I'm going to move on. Question number 8, please, Ollie. What 3 injuries did I suffer from the day before Mary Fran's wedding? Yes, Hannah.
You slammed your finger in a car door, you dropped a log on your foot, and inadvertently wiped your butt with poison ivy.
Those are actually 2. Those are really close. Yes, Hope.
You cut your neck shaving, you got a dime stuck in your nose, and you cut your hand chopping vegetables.
I'm sorry, Hannah so far is much closer. Dan?
I've got it. You cut your hand at work, you were stung in the ear by a mud dauber, and you were hit by a projectile item which flew across the yard when Tim was mowing.
You got 2.5 points, Dan. I actually slammed my hand in the milk cooler door at work before going home and having those other 2 things happen.
Was your hand cut? Worst thing.
No, actually, it was smashed to bits.
I would like to make an editorial comment. These all came from all of us.
Okay.
Some people don't remember things.
And I was, if I had to guess who, I already had an inkling. Dairy cooler door, just shut that, got no idea. But then really seriously, when I'm out there trimming for the Wills Glasgow golf tournament, and the mud dauber flies out, actually I think Tim Stransky did both of these things, because I think he hit the clothesline pole with the lawnmower, which pissed off the mud daubers who flew out, stung me in the ear, and then while I was writhing in pain, he went to mow further along and a rock shot out the side of the lawnmower. Got me right there. I hate Tim Stransky. Huh?
You were up on a ladder when you got hit. You almost fell off the ladder.
Well, at that time, yeah. I was trimming at that time. Yeah, this one. When visiting Shenandoah once, what surprise did I find when I went to grab a pop from the fridge? Dan?
Spoiled milk.
Close. Hannah?
Flowers.
Flowers?
He's being so negative. Flowers.
Oh.
Optimistic answer.
Hannah, no. Hope.
Maggots.
Maggots and funeral ham. Well, there wasn't much of the funeral ham left due to the maggots. For anyone who... Huh? Whose refrigerator and freezer both lost power for probably at least 6 weeks before we got there.
I'll be forever grateful that I was not there.
Yes, the most disgusting thing I've ever had to deal with.
And I think any one of us would have just turned and laughed.
Yeah, I think you should just like get one of those bulldozer things and take it away.
No, I had to stand there and hold it back as he threw a can.
Oh, it was hysterical too, because we went to Long. Yes, we did. It turns out egg rolls smelled just like rotten refrigerator. So gross. Yeah. Here's Lauren as I'm pulling things out of the refrigerator. And my question is things like, Lauren, what birthday did you get an ice cream cake? That was my 12th birthday. How old are you? 22. Yeah, and when I say funeral ham, I don't mean one. 2 different funerals. Years apart. Years apart. To what songs did 2 of my sisters and I have choreographed dances? Yes, sir?
Captain and Tennille Level, Keep Us Together.
That's okay.
And Olivia Newton-John, Let's Get Physical.
That is incorrect.
I got it.
Dan?
Queen, Bohemian Rhapsody, and Joni Mitchell's Big Yellow Taxi. Seriously.
That is also very, very incorrect. Yes, Anna?
Bay City Rollers, Saturday Night, and Jackson 5, Stop the Love.
Which 2 sisters?
Which 2? S-A-T-U-I-D-A-I. Night. Okay. Now, I just want to know, did you notice which two people were shaking the most in the audience at the time? That's the answer to the question. Where did I eat every day the first semester of my junior year?
Created more laughter than this
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Here's the funny thing is, I want to know how many of you can, other than Jenny, can answer this question. Where did I eat every day of the first semester of my junior year of high school? Yes? Yes, Hope?
The gym.
The gym is incorrect. Hannah?
Cafeteria?
Cafeteria, you would think, would be a nice answer. It is not. Dan?
The park.
The park, and more specifically, where?
Tell us, Judy.
In my car. If the weather is nice.
What? You drove in junior high?
His junior year in high school.
Oh, junior year.
My
sorry.
junior year. My junior.
Explain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had no friends.
It's just so funny.
And the local radio station KATT in Oklahoma City used to play an album side every day at noon, 11:30, whatever it was. And so I told myself that's why I was working.
Okay.
So I could listen to an album while I was eating my sandwich with. Okay, here, this is a follow-up question.
Wait, with him for the first 9 weeks?
Secondary question, what did I eat? And be specific.
I'm guessing. Piccolo.
Funeral hand.
Budding beef? And how many pieces of that budding beef were in there? 2, exactly right. That gets some protein right there, right? Wafer thin.
10 calories.
Yeah. So, yeah, in my car, which was a Plymouth Arrow, just 2 PKPs for it. Okay. What golfer was I when I played putt-putt golf? Yes, Dan.
Lee Trevino.
It is incorrect. I wish it were the answer. Hannah?
Tom Watson.
Tom Watson also would have been a much better answer. Hope!
Nancy Lopez.
It is still Nancy Lopez. It is completely the answer. You'd think if I was going to pick a Hispanic person, I would have gone with Lee Trevino, but I went with Chichi Rodriguez.
Try Rodriguez.
He's right.
Yeah, all right. Will you demonstrate?
No.
Was there something special in your school?
No, for some reason, whenever we played games, we had to be somebody. Is there a question coming up about playing racquetball?
Maybe. Maybe.
Well, is it the same person that was in racquetball?
Wait a second. Let's not go ahead.
Wait a
No
minute.
spoilers.
That's skipping ahead, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know why it had to be Quiz and Quake when we're playing games.
When you play darts with Chipper Joffrey.
Okay, wait a minute. When my friend and I competed in tennis, what intimidating personality did I pretend to be? Yes,
Chuck Norris.
God, I wish I was Chuck Norris. Yes, Dan?
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Also, that would have been a good idea. Hannah?
Stromstone.
It was totally strong. Who was probably, at that time, only in his 80s. But my Francis was Murray Clegg from the soap opera.
Did they give you the edge? Did they give you an edge?
Totally.
Yeah?
Totally.
Oh, okay.
Now the problem was I couldn't go left. All right, I like this one. What letters were used in Colorado while watching Conan the Barbarian to impersonate Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Anybody?
Yes, Hope?
E-I-E-I-O.
That is incorrect. But later, when Old MacDonald comes up, you have a shot. Anna?
T and A.
T and A?
No, that's not right.
Dan?
A-E-I-O-U.
That's a That is how he talks the entire movie. Conan the Barbarian.
Oh, God.
When visiting Eileen and the family in Houston, Jeff and I went where to pick up chicks? Dan, you two.
Sports bar.
No, that wasn't that good.
The mall.
Also, yes.
Chuck E. Cheese.
Totally Chuck E. Cheese. And we were successful. Follow-up question, where did we take them?
Golf
Chuck
course
E. Cheese.
by Key Melodic's house and then Denny's.
And then Denny's.
And then to Denny's. All three.
You want a good time. See these guys.
Yeah.
Did you see Akeem Olajuwon?
No.
His house, you know, the big AO. At first I thought it was actually Amos Wilson's house. What stupid human trick can I play with a strand of spaghetti, Hannah?
Chew it, spit it back out into letters that spell your first and your last name.
Nice.
I'm going to work on that for Thanksgiving. That is so cool. Dan?
Tie it into a knot in your mouth.
Child's play. Hope?
You can swallow it, make it come out your nose, and do a tug of war between your mouth and your nose.
Damn right I can do that.
It's disgusting.
I have a defective uvula, which frequently caused me to have green jello come out my nose, especially while laughing.
Eating green jello, or did that just come out?
Huh?
Were you actually eating green jello, or did it just come out?
It's just kidding.
If anyone in the room is eating it, it's
I
like,
just wondered, did this have anything to do with your eating alone?
yeah.
For 9 weeks or longer.
Even Jenny stopped eating it. And so you guys know, when she said my first semester junior year, that was we just moved to another new town. So it's not like I lived there a while and I got ostracized. I just did it.
A little point of clarification.
Right. And no one from that school is here tonight. So, what was my personal remedy for addressing other people's BO? Yes, Hope?
You light a match.
No, I did not do that. Hannah?
Avoid people with body odor.
That would be easy, but it's not. Yes, Dan?
Spraying polo into your nose.
Absolutely correct. Problem is, it turns out I'm highly allergic to polo and never do it while eating spaghetti.
By yourself.
You actually just really have to spray the whole thing to put out on it. It's like using Vicks Vapor Rub, really.
Is that what happened to your uvula?
I think it is.
Shriveled up.
It ate it. Yeah.
What is my long-standing routine regarding eating a small bag of chips at Subway?
Oh.
Dan?
Yeah. You crush the bag and you eat them by pouring it in your mouth.
That'd be pretty cool. Yes, Hope?
You lick all the salt off and then put them back in the bag.
No, but
And then you eat them after that.
But I will tell a side story of one summer when I was teaching summer school. I went to take some peanut M&Ms from a student of mine, and she said, you don't want those? I said, well, of course I do. You have to share. You don't have to share with the whole class. You have to share with me. She says, no, seriously, you don't want this. I said, why not? She said, because I don't like the peanuts, so I just suck the candy off the outside and put it back in the bag. And that's the only thing in the bag right now. I said, oh, you're right. And then I said to her, well, why don't you just get the plain ones? She says, I like the peanut ones.
She likes the salt part.
Hannah, do you have a shot at this?
Perhaps.
Okay, give it a shot.
You set aside 4 perfect chips to eat when you're done with the rest of them.
Now, why do I do that?
I don't know.
Tell us.
We all want to know.
Just 4.
Because you say, because I don't like pouring the whole bag out, right? And then when you're eating along and you eat your sandwich, and then if you stick your hand in the bag and there's nothing there and you still have sandwich left, you're bitterly disappointed. So at this point, you've got 4 on the side that you can now pace yourself to the end of your sandwich. It
We
works,
put
right?
so much thought into
That's
it.
right.
Yes, you know.
Yeah, damn right it works.
Kevin Davis, do that now?
Oh, no, I'm the one that spit that way.
Yeah. Because they were going to put up your okay. What notorious dance routine was I filmed performing at Kevin Davies' wedding reception? Yes, Dan.
The sprinkler.
The sprinkler is incorrect.
MC Hammer.
I didn't. Oh, yes, no.
Any move by himself.
Yes.
The stanky leg.
Oh, yes.
The stanky
What is
leg.
very
What is the stanky leg?
Stanky leg is.
Jim, I'll do this.
Actually, I can't remember how to. I was, you know what? And there's this tiki chef, one of my students, who I taught me the stanky leg, and I said that. Like,
Wow. That's a little scary.
it really is kind of like you just, and I don't know what you do with the other leg. I just know this one's stanky. And then maybe, I don't know really what you do. But what other dance move did I do at your wedding?
I just recall. The 2 minutes of video that Melissa recorded.
That would be as I went across the dance floor on my knees up, knees up, knees up.
You can do that too.
That would hurt.
Mark it over here.
When I broke into the Stransky home in Maryville, I went upstairs to tell the family I was there. What object did Tim Stransky almost hit me in the face with, thinking I was a burglar? Yes, Hannah?
Candlestick.
Candlestick is incorrect.
It's a golf club.
It is not a golf club, and
I got it. A pillow.
it is totally a pillow. And I'd like to thank him for thinking if I'm gonna hit a burglar, the first thing I should grab is a pillow. Because had it even just been his fist, that would have hurt like a lot. Or had he had a loaded weapon, I would have been deeper. I walked in the back door and I said, "We're home." Apparently they were watching TV in bed. No one heard that. And then as I ran up the stairs, all giddy, "Hey, we're home!" And I turned the corner and I'm about to get just whacked by a pillow.
And by we're home, we did not know you were coming.
Correct.
If you were around.
I'm pretty sure.
But I'm not 100% certain. Oh, I know, but.
What baseball team did Brian Davey and I see back-to-back home runs? Thank you.
Kansas City Royals.
Incorrect.
Well, that's not possible, then.
Oh, I get that burn.
Sorry, Dan.
So mean.
Oh.
I'm sorry. The Oakland A's.
It is not the Oakland A's. Yes?
Anaheim Angels.
It was the Anaheim Angels
Yay!
in Angel Stadium.
It's not the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim.
It was actually the California
California.
Angels. Yes, there we go. It was actually who it was. Brian and I were going to San Diego, and I thought that it would be cool to actually take him to Santa Monica to ride the Ferris wheel out on the pier. And he said, "Well, that doesn't sound fun at all." I said, "Well, the Angels are in town." He said, "Let's go there." And then I thought, I don't know how you get to Anaheim. So we kind of drove south for a while and then turned. And then eventually we got to the stadium just in time for the beginning of the bottom of the first inning. Sat down, home run. We went, woo-hoo! And then the guy hit a home run, woo-hoo! And then after the third one, we thought, hell, this is winning.
Really on a high note.
There really can't be anything better than that. What interesting and desperate measures did I take to elicit a final necessary picture out of a camera battery? Oh, come on, let's bring the face down. It's just good stuff. Yes,
Rub it between your hands.
no.
Shake it like a Polaroid picture.
I did shake it. That's part, you get partial credit. I did smash it. It's a sad story, sort of. Although it's a joyous. It's a joyous occasion.
Did it work?
Okay, here I have to. Okay, I'll tell the story. So Julie and I went hiking, and I bought these awesome rechargeable lithium batteries before I left America, except for the part where they were just lithium and not rechargeable. So plugging them in overnight did no good whatsoever. And so I took some pictures at the bottom of the mountain before we started climbing, and we got about, I don't know, a quarter mile up the mountain, and I went to take a picture of a waterfall, and I turned my camera on, and when it went to autofocus, that sucked all the battery, and it immediately turned itself off. And then so, as we kept climbing the mountain, I kept seeing more and more beautiful things, and I thought, oh. So I kept taking the batteries out and like rubbing them, shaking like a Polaroid picture, licking them, whatever we take to try and get them back in. And we came across this one place that was a combination between Tolkien and Thomas Kincaid. It was an elfin, beautiful forest. And pulled it out, the camera came on just long enough to beep, and then went right back off. From that point on, I could not get the camera to turn off, period. I mean, turn on at all, would not turn it on. So we had lunch. Side note, you're climbing a mountain. It's taking you all day. You're about to die. You haven't seen anybody on the road, and you get almost to the top, and there's a cafe there. And you think, where the hell did that come from? Oh, well, there's a shortcut on the other side. Yeah, exactly. Turns out you were just on Hawaii. No. So anyway, so I stopped, ate lunch. I thought maybe I'd be able to buy batteries there. They didn't have any. So we climbed to the top of the mountain, and there's a cross at the top of the mountain. And I just clapped because literally I thought I was going to die really, because I'm old. And so I asked Julia to try one last time to take a picture of me in front of the cross, and she said the camera won't even turn on at all. So I was really pissed, and so I took the camera and I took the batteries out one last time, and I said, frick. And so I did say a little prayer, and
After you said that word.
I did, and I talked about a few things. And so I turned my camera on, and it came on. I just was ready to point and click, but the thing is, it has that stupid autofocus, which takes. And so anyway, I just got ready. For some reason, it turned on. I clicked. It went, and then it turned off again. And I had no way of knowing whether I got the picture or not, because obviously I couldn't turn it back on. And I got back down to the bottom of the mountain, and it was the best picture I've ever taken.
Nice.
And, how did I and Geoff Oliver and a few others avoid drowning while crossing a small bay of Lake Texoma? Hannah?
You used a life vest.
That would have been way smarter than what we did. Yes, oh.
Snorkel.
Close.
Oh, but no.
Dan?
You took turns standing on the bottom while underwater while the other could rest on that person's shoulders.
Absolutely. We played shoulders traveling across to Lake Texoma, which is by far one of the stupidest things anybody's ever done.
Okay.
And, yeah, exactly. And to make matters worse, you're down there and you're thinking, well, I'm getting pushed further and further into the mud. Wait a minute!
Well, the guy on top is just like, oh.
You gotta go every now and then, you gotta go. And then when he swims off, you gotta grab his ankles just so he can pull you out of the mud. Dumb. And at the end of the day, our clothes, by the way, at the end of the day, our clothes were red. Because it was a lake in Oklahoma. All right. In high school, during the height of Ralph Lauren, what did I hand sew on my cheap knit polos, Dan Giesecke?
The high school mascot.
I couldn't. I'm not that good. Yes, Hope?
Your initials, PST.
No. Yes, Hannah?
A stick figure in a wheelchair.
A stick figure in a wheelchair. That is absolutely correct. Why, Hannah, do you suppose I did that?
I don't know, you're weird. That's my last answer.
Because it looked just like the handicap parking sticker, and I called them polio shirts.
Was this your junior year again when you were in the park?
No, I had friends by that time.
Oh.
For a short period. I could have made a fortune off of polio shirts.
How many did take off?
I hand embroidered them. I made a guy I worked with one. Thought it was hysterical.
So sorry.
I used to make all of them
What
on
is that? I said, polio shirt. He goes, you think that's funny? Yeah, well, not that funny, but my sister who's in a care from polio picked this knife and I'm raising money for her. And he said, oh God, I'm sorry.
Well done.
Good thing. It's good to be able to think on your feet.
During a ski trip to Keystone with a then girlfriend, how far off the ski lift did I get before regretting my decision? Yes, Dan?
You made it to the bottom of the hill before she decided she liked the guy at the bar leading her to dump you.
You know, I'm going to tell you, the story would have actually been better and happier had that been the truth. Anna?
After 6 runs, you realized that you could not keep up, and she dumped you for that.
Again? Would have made a happier day. Yes, Hope!
You made it about 300 feet from the top of the hill in about an hour before she started crying, leading her to dump you.
No.
Leading you to dump her. No.
And as a follow-up, how long did your then wonderful nephew stick out with you?
Kevin did not make it the first 300 feet.
Kevin said I'm not a good nephew.
However, technically,
I did, however, swing by on my second run when you were about 150.
I was going to say, technically Kevin did make the first 300 feet about 17 times. How you guys doing? She couldn't go left. I'm not kidding. She literally could not go left. She's here. This is her ski. And then she would stop at the side of the mountain, and then I'd say, "Well, what would you want?"
She didn't get the pizza and french fries.
No. And so I'd go over. I'd take her skis off, and I'd point them that way. And then she'd click back in, and then she'd go right back to the side of the mountain. And then she'd get to a part that was about this steep, and she would freak out. Because she was a single mom of a 5-year-old, and she did not, hey, sexy Jesus, and she did not want to leave him motherless. And so she was crying in the snow. And every now and then I had to take her skis, and I had to ski 50 feet while she walked down there, and then I put her skis back on. It took 3.5 hours
Right after that?
Something like that.
to get to just down the first green hill. It was...
When did you dump her? At what point?
I drove her home.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we're in Colorado, for Christ's sake.
Okay.
Is she here tonight?
Which Tijuana story regarding Michael is my favorite? Yes, Hope.
Your ability to haggle for souvenirs that you don't need.
That's good. Yes, Hannah?
Your fondness of donkey shows.
Donkey what?
Donkey show.
Donkey shows? That's probably true. Yes.
Your newfound ability to poop anywhere.
Yes! Yes, and it came in darn handy because I don't know if we really even want to go more into this except for...
I think I know. Yeah.
Oh, have you ever been in the bathroom in Tijuana?
I've never been to Tijuana.
Look, can I first of all say coochie coochie no cover? Yeah.
I've crossed through Border Patrol, but that's as close to Mexico.
Hey, let's
as I've
just say
gotten.
they don't flush the paper. Carry on. What country's flag did I... Well, I don't know if the statute of limitations is over on this one. What country...
You're in a safe zone.
Okay, what country's flag did I
Church.
acquire from a state line rest stop? Yes, Hannah?
Portugal.
Portugal. Close.
Andorra.
Andorra, also very close.
Spain.
It is totally Spain. It's actually Leon and Castile. Yeah, it really
You
is.
still have it?
And,
So is there like a bounty on you?
could very well be. Although, quite frankly, I bet you they're thinking, how did they do that?
How did you do that?
Look it up on case.
See, that's fair.
See if it's on case now.
I shinnied up a flagpole about 50 feet in the air.
Oh my God.
No, it was night. There was a spotlight on it.
Were you not able to voice?
They had it permanently attached to the top so people would steal it. Fool them! And as a follow-up story, the little thing in my eye. Never mind. I'm not going to tell my story.
Really?
Last question.
Okay.
Last question.
What did I do in the early morning hours of September 29th, 1986? Dang easy.
You took a ride in the country with your favorite coworker and discussed your fondness of Safeway.
That is That is so very, very close. Yes, Hope.
You were on a fantastic date.
I was hoping it wasn't going to turn out that way. And Hannah.
You were kidnapped at gunpoint.
I was kidnapped at gunpoint, and frankly, one of the main things I did was I peed.
Is this where your ability to poop anywhere
That came in handy.
It just did. I had peed after I finally saw their taillights go off in the distance, and I had crossed the fence and thought to myself, after I untied myself and extricated myself from the situation, in case you didn't know, I was left tied up in the middle of nowhere. Man, good story, bro. That's it. I have gotten a lot of mileage out of that. As a matter of fact, I got so much mileage out of it, I bet you Craig and Geoff could tell it verbatim.
Verbatim. So this actually concludes the game show portion of this, but we welcome Pat to tell any stories he wants, or to grill him, do a little roast or whatnot. We do have music. We do have strobe light.
We do.
But thank you to our contestants. You won. Thanks, Pat Trey, for the Pat Trey Show. We do have food, too. Yay!